This is it. This is the Hogwarts you've grown to love. Well, kind of. You see, just like the paintings, the rooms, and staircases in the wizarding world, things change at Hogwarts. Over the last 20 years, we've seen that evolution of Hogwarts through the books we read, the movies we watch, and the games we play. But how has it changed over the years, and is there such thing as a definitive school of witchcraft and wizardry? This week on Pixel Report, we are looking at how Hogwarts has evolved and how the media has brought that evolution to life over the years. By the time the first movie adaptation was released, the first 4 novels had already been on bookshelves for some time. For 4 years and through 4 novels, we explored the world of Harry Potter without much reference. The castle and its inhabitants were created in our own heads, with only small details to draw from, like the wonderfully illustrated chapter art and equally detailed slipcovers for each book. That was all. We created and lived in a magical world reliant on our own imaginations. Not until the release of the first movie was the audience truly tuned in to the scope and breadth that was Hogwarts. It was thanks to the work of this man, Stuart Craig, that the Hogwarts we know today exists.
She made a map of Hogwarts and the world around it. And that was her instruction, and that was something that we stuck to very closely, really adhered to. It had the lake, the dark forest, the train station, the castle, Hogsmeade Village, all those essential things in this world. So she set it out before we ever started, really.
Basing his initial designs off that first drawing I showed you, he expanded the sketch into an icon, now recognizable around the world. Drawing from various castles and churches across Europe like the Alnwick Castle, Edinburgh Castle, Westminster Abbey, and countless other architectural likenesses, Craig created something wholly new and equally impossible. Much like Hogwarts, this castle wasn't found on a map. We couldn't visit it and only ever existed in our minds. But there it was. To new viewers and longtime fans, the castle became real. J.K. Rowling might have created the world, but Stuart Craig and his team brought it to life, cementing it in our world and our hearts, making it more than words and making it tangible and believable. Audience experienced a sense of wonder on that first boat ride across the lake to the dark but welcoming castle, a spot of warmth and comfort surrounded by a mysterious dark forest. But it wasn't complete then. Far from it, actually, because it doesn't take a detective to see the change that Hogwarts underwent throughout 8 films. And that's what happens. As movies are created, the proportions and details of locations are changed, twisted to make the most use of the story being told. We've seen Hagrid's hut move, the establishment of the bridge connecting the castle and the castle grounds, and additions like the Owlery and Astronomy Tower. Even the courtyard grew in size to fit the frantic battle of the final movie. And that's just the exterior. Looking inside the castle, we see just as many, if not more, alterations, from style changes to whole locations being picked up and moved. Like the Gryffindor house entrance being transported to the moving staircases in The Prisoner of Azkaban. Change happens in movie making in order to convey a certain emotion or experience for the viewer. What I'm trying to get at is that with every movie, the directors and designers had an opportunity to see Hogwarts evolve and best fit the film that they were making, each setting out to grow the castle with every new installment.
It's complicated, or was always complicated, in that it incorporates certain locations that we used and bits that we invented, and also evolved and changed as the years went on, as the movies went on, because new things would appear in new scripts that we couldn't have anticipated in the beginning, so.
Through the years, we've seen it introduced, explored, and then destroyed. One movie after another, molding the castle to provide us the best story. From the first movie, the stage was set, but the pursuit to explore Hogwarts was just getting started. While movies established the setting, giving it character and style outside of the book, it was through interactive experiences like video games that we were truly able to explore the castle and, as much as we could, become a student.
Challenge everything.
Since the beginning, there have been 15 video games based off the Wizarding world, with the vast majority focusing on the adventures of Harry, Ron, and Hermione. Only 3 focused on other aspects, with 2 of them being PlayStation Move interpretations of spellcasting and potions, and the third focusing on Quidditch. There is also a fourth one on the horizon with Harry Potter Wizards Unite, which is expected to bring the augmented reality experience of Pokemon Go to the wizarding world. The evolution of Hogwarts in video game form has been much more colorful and experimental than that of the movies. Starting with the first 3 adaptations, it's clear that the developers placed great importance on making a believable and explorable Hogwarts, even providing the players with the ability to fly around the castle exterior on Harry's broomstick. However, they saw a slow decline as the games eventually leaned away from providing players the freedom to explore the castle, and in doing so taking away one of the largest draws to a Hogwarts experience. By the end of the movie tie-ins, the castle was just a shade of what it used to be. Nothing more than just a backdrop to the gameplay, providing only shallow, "I remember that from the movie" moments. This is when an unexpected but much welcomed addition came to the Harry Potter video game family. LEGO Harry Potter Years 1 through 4 and 5 through 7 released near the conclusion of the movie series and brought with it a lighthearted, colorful, and creative adventure that the viewers and players had been asking for. Across the 2 games, the player experienced every year, every adventure, and every character imaginable in the finest school of witchcraft and wizardry. Your brick-laden adventure sees you exploring old locations and new, casting all manner of spells, and puts you in the search for smaller puzzles or adventures to keep you sidetracked between each story beat. Since then, it's been seen by most as the best Harry Potter game to date, and it's hard not to see why. However, over time, with the positive comes the negative. The recently released mobile game, Harry Potter Hogwarts Mystery, fails to capture the same sense of adventure and discovery instilled in previous depictions of Hogwarts, instead trading the values of exploration and mystery for creating a point-and-click 2D microtransaction store to cash in on fan service. A far cry from what the fans have been asking for. From its inception, we've seen countless versions of the castle. The beautifully designed slipcovers and chapter art introduce us to a world that was beyond belief but within our grasp. The movies then took the potential that Hogwarts had and made it real, somewhere that we could almost touch, and cemented it as an icon for years to come. Then the video games brought the castle to life and placed us at the center of it, giving all manner of freedom afforded to explore, adventure, and discover at will. No 2 versions of Hogwarts are the same, each adapting the icon to the story, a conduit for our experiences in the wizarding world. And I would argue that there is no final definitive Hogwarts, and it's best that way. To map out every detail and inch would be to deprive it of its mystery. It works best because there are hidden treasures and dangers around every corner, adventures to be had with stories waiting to be told. The mystery of something is what draws us to it. To fill in the corners of the Marauder's map would be to steal that magnetic pull that keeps us coming back. And well, we are finally going back. It's time once again for Hogwarts to play its part, this time in the Crimes of Grindelwald. Its influence on the story is not fully known, but even if it's just touched upon, I expect we'll see a different side to the Hogwarts we grew up with. See, Hogwarts is a harbor for mystery and adventure, a playground for the imagination. It grows with us in the adventures we've embarked on there, and the ones yet to be told. I have no doubt that Hogwarts will be around for years to come, and that we're only scratching the surface of the stories it hides. Whatever it is that finally brings us back to Hogwarts, you can be sure that it will be there, ready to grow and adapt to the stories yet to be told. Speaking of evolution, if you want to see the evolution of my script as I have scrapped and rewritten for this video, you can jump over to my website, pixel.report, where I have this script and scripts of my previous videos where you can see my writing process and kind of how I build up to a final product. If you want to help support more videos like this, please consider subscribing or check out my Patreon at patreon.com/pixelreport, where my first 20 supporters will be forever mentioned in my credits right about here for all my videos. It also allows for another way to talk with me directly. I was able to work with one of my supporters, Jason, to go through the script and kind of bounce ideas off of him, and he was a great help, so thank you, Jason. Until next time, I want to thank you very much for watching. My name is Devin J, and this is Pixel Report. Thank you.